Hi girls, so today we're going to be looking at stability, which is the first of our biomechanical principles that we'll be exploring. This is first because I think it's the simplest and easiest to apply to our theory. Our success criteria, you need to be able to understand and define key terms, including center of gravity, line of gravity and base of support, and as always, be able to apply these principles to the badminton smash. This lecture is quite lengthy, so please strap yourselves in. And as always, you need to go in search of more information. So the textbook chapters are absolutely essential, particularly for a tricky unit of work like biomechanics. I will be fuzzing myself out throughout this lecture because the slides are quite full, and I also have a fair few diagrams and also a couple of videos to show throughout. Okay, so stability. The level of stability of an object or person is determined by the mass of the object or person and how that mass is distributed in relation to the base of support of the object or, again, the person. Maximum stability is achieved by positioning the center of mass as close to the ground and as close to the center of base of support as possible. However, with that comes consequences. So like I said, maximum stability is achieved by positioning the center of gravity as close to the ground as possible. However, in doing this, so in achieving maximum stability by lowering the center of gravity, it results in a decrease in mobility, which is obviously for some sports not optimal. All right, now let's have a look at this top one again. Now, for short people like me, it's really easy to be stable because our center of gravity is already quite low. Okay, we only have to crouch down a little lower to get it close to the ground. Tall people in the class, you probably find in some sports you're not really stable because you've got such a high center of gravity and you really have to work hard to get low. Think about the aerobics unit. And tall people, have a think about your own movements. Were you sometimes feeling unstable? Have a think about where your center of gravity might have been in relation to your stability. And like I said, really important to know that, yes, maximum stability is fantastic. When we lower our center of gravity, we can become more stable, but unfortunately, the downside, you decrease your mobility, so your range of movement. So if we all crouch down now, really, really low to the ground, like our knees are just about to touch, have a think about your movements. Could you automatically just go to your left really quickly, or your right, or back or forwards? No. Okay, you don't have that range of movement. Now let's just have a look at this diagram quickly. So the base of support is this line on the ground. You can see this guy has a wide base of support and the line of gravity intersects right through the middle of the base of support, and that is when we are most stable. Center of gravity. So the center of gravity is the point at which gravity appears to be acting upon an object. This is for most part the same as the point around which the mass of an object or person is equally distributed in all directions. So it's pretty much right in the middle of your body where a person is equally distributed in all directions. So we're pretty much even throughout. And when you think about it, obviously it's going to be somewhere in the center of our body, halfway down our body. So you can see here for a girl, it's obviously right around the pelvis region. For a guy, it's a little bit higher because of their larger shoulder mass, and guys are generally more tall than girls anyway. Let's have a look at an athlete-specific center of gravity and how it moves. So we're going to look at the sprinter. So a sprinter requires low stability and high mobility. So they need to be low and stable for that start in order to accelerate quickly. Okay, so they need high mobility. Then as soon as that gun goes, they need to be able to move quickly. And that's why a crouch start is so much more effective than a standing start. In order to get moving as quickly as possible when the gun goes off, he distributes his center of gravity closer to the front edge of his base of support. So you can see the center of gravity is moving forward. This creates forward motion and hopefully a faster start. Stability is also enhanced by increasing the base of support. So the sprinter achieves this by placing his hands in the crouch start position, which obviously enhances his base of support. He must do this to support the forward positioning of his center of mass. Now, he's in that crouch position, so imagine you're on those starting blocks right now. Okay, you're on the starting blocks. Your center of gravity is forward because you're leaning forward because you want to accelerate quickly when that gun goes off, but you don't have your hands there. Your hands are up in the air. What's going to happen? You're obviously going to fall forward. Okay, so the hands are on the ground in order to enhance his base of support. And like I said, he must do this to support the forward positioning of the center of gravity. When the starting gun fires, his hands will leave the ground and he will contribute and begin to contribute to the sprinting action. So he's moving forward. In doing this, his base of support will drastically reduce and consequently his stability will be reduced in favor of higher mobility. So he's becoming less stable in order to move quickly. Now, to do this effectively and to not fall over, he must drive his legs and arms hard to overcome his new state of decreased stability. So he's not stable until his body becomes more upright and is once again balanced over his base of support. Now, when you watch a sprinter, they don't just get upright straight away. If they did that, they'd fall over. Okay, it takes some time to get their arms moving, to get used to their decreased stability, and to become forward. Okay, that doesn't probably happen until, the first 10 meters. Okay, it's not automatic. If it was, people would fall over. Let's have a closer look at the center of gravity. So lowering your center of gravity also helps to increase stability because it needs to be lifted higher before it moves outside the base of support. So lowering the center of gravity increases balance and stability in sport. This is why you can change direction faster by bending your legs and getting lower to the ground. And that's why, a lot of coaches say bend your legs. Okay, if we're standing upright and we all of a sudden want to move to our left or to the right, very difficult. Okay, and it's not fast movement. Okay, so to increase mobility, we need to lower our center of gravity. It increases your stability, allowing you to adjust the greater force production by the leg. Now, let's have a look at this gymnast pose. The center of gravity has moved outside the body in this gymnastics pose because the legs have been positioned forward. If we look at the high jump, the flop, obviously frequently used in high jump, it allows the jumper to go over a high bar because they do not need their center of gravity to go as high as the other techniques. Okay, let's look at the height of the center of gravity. The height of the center of gravity also determines the security of the balance. So the lower the center of gravity, the greater distance the gravity line has to move before reaching the limit of the base, and therefore the more secure the balance. However, the higher the center of gravity, the less distance the gravity line has to move before reaching the limit of the base, and therefore the less secure the balance. Let's look at the line of gravity. So the line of gravity is an imaginary vertical line from the center of gravity to the ground or surface the object or the person is on. It's the direction that gravity is acting upon the a person or object. The location of this line in relation to the base of support has a huge influence on balance and stability. So you can see here, the line of gravity is between the legs and feet right under the person. Okay, obviously, if the line of gravity is off center, you're not going to be stable. So let's look at this rugby person. You can see here that the line of gravity falls outside of the base of support. Now, the base of support is obviously her leg positioning, and you can see here she's not stable. Okay, now have a think about what is she doing to become stable. All right, she's using her arm to fend, and you can see to counteract that instability, she's got a lot of force on that left side of her body. Okay. If she didn't have force on that left side of the body, she would be falling over. Okay, so obviously she is in that running position. Okay, but she's leaning to her left, and obviously her arm is there to get some. She's fending off, but she's also getting some stability as she's fending off. Okay, let's look at the base of support. So the base of support is the area around the outside edge of the sections of your body in contact with the ground or surface. So let's go back. So standing with feet close together provides a small base of support. Now, have a think about yourself. So your feet are in a position that are just under shoulder width apart. try and hit a badminton smash in the air, okay, you're probably not very stable. Let's have a look at this one. So base of support increases as the distance between the feet increases. So if we have a wide base of support, try and hit a badminton smash now, you're probably much more stable. Okay, and then we've got that staggered base of support, which obviously provides a lot of stability for a range of sports. So the larger the base of support, the more stable the person or athlete is able to be. When an athlete is anticipating contact from an external player, they will naturally widen their base of support in the direction of the force. Okay, so if I see a big dude coming at me, I'm panicking, but I'm also widening my stance, okay, in the direction of force. Okay, I'm anticipating that contact, and I'm embracing it by widening my base of support. If I had a really narrow stance and this dude came at me, I'm going everywhere. Okay, but if I widen my base of support upon contact, it gives me a better opportunity to be more stable and perhaps not hit the ground. So when we stand with our feet apart and side by side, we enhance our lateral or sideways stability, but we decrease our front to back motion stability. So if our feet are shoulder width apart, yes, we are much more stable than when our feet are less than shoulder width apart. However, it's more difficult for us to move forward and back quickly. When we thrust one foot to the front and one to the back of our bodies, we enhance our front to back motion stability, but we reduce our lateral stability. So if we go back, that's this stance in the middle. Okay, so we've got that staggered stance. Yes, our front to back motion stability is enhanced, but it's really difficult for us to move sideways. Positioning our feet in a staggered formation allows us to attain, a disposition of moderate stability in all directions. All right. Widening your base of support also makes you less mobile. Okay, we know that. Okay, if you have a really wide base of support, it's really hard to move. In order to increase mobility and improve acceleration, you need to reduce your base of support. All right, so yes, widening makes you more stable, but it decreases your range of movement. So you do need to decrease your base of support to get that quick acceleration. Let's have a look at badminton now, and specifically the smash. All right, so I've got a few examples of the importance of the center of gravity and base of support. So the center of gravity must be over the center of the base of support. And I've given some examples. So during the process of setting up for smashing a shuttlecock, the player's body will be slightly bent, but the center of gravity will be over the base of support in order to remain balanced for an appropriate jump. Okay, so think about yourself about to hit shuttlecock, you're doing a smash. If you are leaning back, so your center of gravity is slightly behind your body, and it's not over your base of support, which is obviously your feet, you're going backwards. Okay, and that shuttlecock is going absolutely nowhere. But if your center of gravity is over your base of support, so you're leaning forward a little bit, you're able to be more balanced. The larger the area the base of support covers, the more balanced or stable the athlete will be. For example, the player will not fall over easily during the landing process of a smash if his base of support remains at a wide stance. Okay, if you have a narrow stance in your badminton smash, you're not going to be stable. But if you have a wide base of support, you are much more stable in your badminton smash process, and we're going to practice that in class. The lower the center of gravity of the athlete is, the more balanced he or she will be. Now, you should know that one. For example, during the early stage of setting up for a smash, the athlete will have a low center of gravity in order to remain balanced and have a successful jump to produce a smash. So we lower our center of gravity to be able to produce the force from our legs to produce an effective smash. So if we are standing upright, doing a smash, yes, we're unstable, but we're not generating any force whatsoever from our legs to produce a fast and effective smash that achieves the objectives, e.g. to end the point. The shorter the distance, the center of gravity must move closer to the base of support, the more rapidly the body will be put in motion in the required direction. So for example, during the early stages of the smash, the player must have a relatively wide base of support and a low center of gravity, which is close to the base of support, in order to have optimal spring in the jump for a smash. Okay, so we need to have a wide base of support and a low center of gravity in order to get to that jump phase. Okay, if your center of gravity is high because you're not bending your legs, you're not going to get much air time in terms of your jump for your smash. Alright girls, just to finish, a couple of really good videos that explain all about stability. Now, if these videos are not working, if you're hearing double, just Google the YouTube names. Like I said, girls, these are really effective in terms of summarizing what we've just learnt today.
Last season, Kevin Love led the NBA with over 1,100 rebounds. One of the keys to his dominance under the basket is the ability to box out opponents. Talk to me about your technique for boxing.
I just try to play to my advantages and using leverage and using my body and my base to get that rebound.
Do you feel like you could box out anyone?
Yes.
We didn't just bring in anybody. We brought in a 350-pound sumo wrestler. Before the clash of these titans, we wire Love up with science.
So I'm going to put 12 sensors all over your body. It's going to tell us exactly how much force you're generating to keep him out of the paint.
Much like boxing out a basketball player, sumo wrestlers use their mass to gain leverage on opponents. Our wrestler weighs almost 100 pounds more than Love, and being 10 inches shorter, he has a lower center of mass, giving him more stability and a built-in advantage over Love.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
As the wrestler comes in for the rebound, Kevin widens his base of support by bending his knees 75 degrees and keeping his feet 4 feet apart, effectively lowering the center of mass by nearly 35%. In simplest terms, the lower the center of mass and the wider your base of support, the more force required to knock you off balance. By positioning his legs nearly perpendicular to the wrestler, Love gains what's called rotary stability, the resistance against being knocked over. Extending his base of support in the direction of the oncoming force actually increases Love's stability. And when shoulder meets stomach, the collision generates nearly 2,600 pounds of force.
In terms of the amount of force you experience during the game, how accurate is that? That's pretty accurate. Obviously, the weights should be a little bit different, but it was definitely tough.
To put the battle under the boards in perspective, if Kevin Love experienced only a third of that 2,600-pound collision in each of his rebounds last season, he still would have experienced a cumulative total of nearly 1 million pounds of force. For ESPN Sports Science, I'm John Burns.
Without the ability to maintain our body's balance, it would be impossible to function in the world around us. We'd be constantly falling over. We all rely on balance to sit, stand, walk, run, and to do our work. Athletes can improve their balance skills through practice. There are two types of balance. They are static balance and dynamic balance. Static balance is the body's ability to control balance whilst remaining still, such as a gymnast balancing on a beam or a tennis player preparing to serve. Dynamic balance is the opposite of static balance. Dynamic balance is used when a body is moving. Skaters and surfers use dynamic balance, as does a dancer when they sharply change direction. Like most body systems, balance is not something we consciously think about as we go about our day. Our bodies have developed complicated and delicate internal processes to do this. But in biomechanics, balance is about the body's ability to maintain the centre of gravity within the base of support with as little sway as possible. Stability plays a crucial role in balance. Stability relates to the degree to which a body can resist being upset or moved. Many factors affect a person's stability. The first is the height of the body's centre of gravity, which is an imaginary point around which our body weight is evenly distributed or concentrated. Finding our centre of gravity is challenging because it shifts with movement. This means certain body types and postures are more stable than others. The lower the centre of gravity, the more stable the body. So a person kneeling is more stable than a person of similar height standing, because the point at which all the body mass is concentrated is lower for the person kneeling. Of course, the position of our centre of gravity varies between males and females, adults and children, and individual builds. Men generally have a higher centre of gravity than women because of their larger shoulder region and women's larger hips. Athletes who understand where their centre of gravity lies can really improve their performance. A 100-metre sprinter crouching down on their hands and feet leans forward so their centre of gravity is well beyond their feet. This extreme position makes them feel as if they will fall, but when the pistol goes off, they bring their feet forward quickly in order to keep from falling, which helps them push off with greater force and gather speed more quickly. A person's weight may be distributed in such a way that the centre of gravity falls outside the body. A performer doing a back walkover shifts the centre of gravity into a position where it's temporarily outside the body.